It comes a time in every generation where a new musical star emerges. In the year 2022, Chloe Bailey and Normani have been highlighted as the next best contenders for the love and admiration of the general public in the United States. With comparable sounds and even comparable rises to fame, the two singers have left the country in a split vote. Who can become the next biggest pop star of this generation? It comes a time where every generation has to choose their next big musical star. And the year 2022 is no different. Chloe Bailey and Normani have been highlighted as the next two best contenders for the love and admiration of everyone in the country. But with similar sounds and even similar rises to fame, the two have left the country in a split vote. Who can become the next biggest pop star of this generation? I want you guys to join me, your favorite entertainer Brad Hilton, as I discuss the history of Chloe Bailey and Normani and how their rise to fame prepared them to be this generation's next big thing. Make sure you guys make it to the end where I will tell you who has the best shot of becoming a superstar in this generation. So it's no secret that both of these women are extremely talented. But what if I told you guys that they share more commonalities than differences? So we all know Normani from Fifth Harmony. It was where she first got her recognition. It's where we first learned of her. And is how she popped off. With all the great success that the group saw, unfortunately, they took a downward turn. So it started with Camila Cabello actually choosing to pursue a solo career. And then shortly after that, the whole group decided to go on solo endeavors by 2018. So this left us with Normani's solo career. But before we go any further, I kind of want to shift gears and I want to talk about Chloe Bailey's start. So we first saw Chloe rise to fame where she starred in the movie Fighting Temptations along with her sister and also along with their mentor and the queen of everything, Beyonce. Fast forward to 2018, Chloe and her sister Haley, I just call them the Do It Twins. The Do It Twins got booked to be on the freeform show Grownish, which was a spinoff, I think. I'm not quite sure, I didn't watch it, but they got booked to be on Grownish and they also released their debut album, The Twins Are Alright. So, when we speak of charting or success, their debut album unfortunately paled in comparison to their sophomore album. So their second album, also regarded as their breakout album, Ungodly Hour, yielded their very first hit on Billboard with the song Do It. Do It, I don't think it charted that high, but it did chart. And the album charted 16, I believe, on the Billboard 200. So it was a huge improvement from their debut. And I think they decided to take a more adult approach on that second album, which obviously fared well. However, in the height of their newfound success, I think this is 2020 we're talking about, we got an announcement that the sisters decided to go after solo endeavors as well. So we're looking at Normani, who started her solo career in 2018, and then Chloe, who started about 2 years later. So this now brings us to our next point, the solo careers of both Normani and Chloe. So switching back over to Normani, the first time we saw Normani appear on the charts outside of her group was with the singer Khalid in the collaboration Love Lies. So the song didn't take at first. I remember hearing it and I really didn't care for it. But I guess it was a sleeper hit. It was on the charts for almost 30 weeks and it ended up cracking the top 10. About a year after that, she released her debut single, all by herself this time, called Motivation. Motivation was kind of fun. I know the general reception was the video was more interesting than the song, but I actually don't think that song was all that bad. Now, nearly 2 years after that nice attempt at a debut single, she came back with what we thought was going to be her lead. It was titled Wild Side, featuring an American rapper. So after the attempt with that American rapper, I believe the song cracked the top 20 and it did a decent thing, and that was about it. We've had her drop a song called Fair, which was a little more intimate. I don't think it was received that well. There was rumors of a record called Candy Paint that we have not been served yet. And as it stands today, as this video is being recorded, she still has not served us her debut album. So we're looking at her going solo by 2018. We're 4 years post her solo debut, and she still hasn't served us an album just yet. Now, moving on to one of the twins, Chloe. Although Chloe did announce her debut about 2 years after Normani in 2020, we didn't get a debut single until the summer of the next year, and that single was titled Have Mercy. Have Mercy had some kind of funky sample. I really don't know who that guy is. A lot of people say it was like a Beyonce throwaway record. A lot of people say it was a TikTok hit. It was fun, it was flirty, it was sexy. It peaked and debuted at 28, and I believe it was on the charts for over 20 weeks, maybe 21. So, not to shade Chloe, but that's extremely impressive for a new artist to be on the charts for, what is that, 4-5 months off her own strength, and she's without her sister. So it was cool. Personally, I don't like Have Mercy at all, actually. It was just kind of generic, but it was a cute try at something. So around the time Have Mercy was getting ready to fall off the charts, she ran out and put out the single Treat Me, which literally sounds like it could have took Have Mercy's place, and it could have been the first song she put out. The songs were extremely similar. It was a very bootylicious like sample, and she's singing a very easy chorus. The verses are kind of the same concept. Treat Me did chart. It charted on the lower end of the spectrum. Like it wasn't up here. It was like a little bit lower, probably lower than what the camera can catch. I think it was like in the 80s or the 90s. She was praised for her vocal capabilities on that record, but it just failed to kind of grab the audience, probably due to the striking similarities as the debut single. But it was good. I really enjoyed the dance. So after Treat Me failed to garner the same attention as Have Mercy, she tried again with a third record in that summer. So we're looking at summer 2022, about a year out from her debut. This is Miss Chloe, Chloe Bailey from Do It. She dropped the record Surprise, which failed to chart altogether on iTunes. I don't think she even gave us a video. But here's the funny part. I think Surprise was the most promising song out of all three. But unfortunately, I think I might be alone on that opinion because of its charting being non-existent on the Hot 100. So yeah, it really just didn't have any, the last record just had a lack of influence and impact, unfortunately. So that brings us to my last point. What else would it take for these stars to become the next Beyonce or the next superstar? And that would be impact. So when we look at artists' impact in general, we're expecting it to be long-lasting, iconic, memorable, jaw-dropping, next level, out of this world, all of the things your heart would desire. Just to bring in some context, we have Beyonce and Nicki Minaj's Feeling Myself. The term feeling myself was coined into a whole phrase during the peak of its existence. You saw feeling myself all over shirts. It was referenced in American language. We even have, shout out to JT and Carisha, we have the idea of getting everything we can out of a man and then leaving him high and dry. We got that from the City Girls. So the picture I'm trying to paint here is every good artist knows how to develop a strong influence over the citizens in the country, over its followers. I believe this is where we draw the hugest comparison between both artists. When we speak in terms of impact, both women at this current time, Normani 4 years into her solo career and Chloe 2 years into her solo career, they don't possess it. So what we know as Impact, Nicki Minaj debuting with pink hair along with black hair and bangs, and then everybody running out in your local middle school getting streaks of pink hair. We don't see that with Miss Chloe or Normani. I don't think I could walk down the street and see girls doing the Treat Me challenge. I don't see girls walking down the street letting a basketball bounce off their butt and into the basketball goal. These girls just don't have it. When I think of Impact, I'm thinking about Rihanna and her Good Girl Gone Bad era cutting off her hair, and then everybody and their moms, literally their moms and probably their aunts and their grandma, doing the same haircut as Rihanna. But right now, Chloe and Normani are establishing that, but they don't have that. And that is one of the integral parts of being a global superstar. So now that I provided all this information for you guys, I promised you guys I would tell you who I believe would be the next big thing out of both of them. But first, who do you guys believe will pop first, or just pop better or pop bigger, Normani or Chloe? If you feel like they both will, how about you leave it in the comments? If you feel like neither one will, leave it in the comments. And if you feel like Chloe can best Normani or the other way around, leave it in the comments. Let's have a discussion. I'm probably gonna get a whole heck of a lot of backlash for this, but when it comes down to the great debate of Chloe Bailey and Normani Corday, who will take the throne as the next biggest pop star? I'm going to have to say it's none other than neither of them to me. And I'll explain why. There's just not been enough time to pass. We don't have an album to judge. We don't have much to go off of. And frankly, I think they both have an opportunity to both be big because there's enough room for both of them. Back in the day, it could only be one, but I believe they both can exist in this same space. But right now, I don't see what's going on, and I'm gonna need a debut album to judge properly. You guys might feel the exact same way. But in this case, they both seem pretty promising. I mean, when we lay up their stats, they came from two girl groups that were okay. Their debuts right now are okay. Their impact right now is down here. At this point, it's really anyone's game. My true hope is that both women will get the opportunity to thrive in the industry, but I just don't know. Right now, as it stands, they could fall into the one-hit wonder category. And we know how one-hit wonders work. We actually had a lot of them, which leads me to my next video that I will be doing, and I'll make sure I'll link it over here, but I will be discussing some of the greatest one-hit wonders of the 2010s, and I'll actually tell you guys who I think had the best one-hit wonder of the 2010s. That's 2010 to 2022. So other than that, I'll see you guys over there.